Ladies and gentlemen, kindly stand for the national anthem of Singapore. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly remain standing for the national anthem of Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to invite both teams for the traditional handshake and exchange of gifts.
Welcome to the Maba Hall here in KL for the 2017 Southeast Asian Games Women's Basketball Competition and the last match for the squads of Singapore and Indonesia in what promises to be a very close and tight affair. Just 3 points separating these two sides the last time they met, and that was last year at the SEABA Championships as well as the 2015 Southeast Asian Games. In 2015, Singapore lost by 3 points to Indonesia, 67-70. And they got their own revenge by winning by 3 points against Indonesia at SEABA by 71-68. As we have a look at their squad roster, Amanda Lim has had a very good tournament so far, the number 9. So too has YUKIE Yoshida in terms of getting rebounds off the boards. ALANNA Lim has had 2 double-digit games off the boards already. That is their starting 5. And it's a very familiar starting 5, which has ALANNA, of course, controlling the paint. At least they hope in setting up screens for their shooters like Sarah Jane Tang and CHERYL Poon, because when she gets hot, she will get hot, as she did against Vietnam. Coach is Kirk Murad, who usually does the screens and the plays during the quarter breaks to make sure that the flankers are released for their shots to drown. And Singapore don't have an opportunity for a medal. Color, that's something they targeted leading up to these games. That was exactly what they wanted, but it's too little too late now, having suffered defeats to Malaysia, Thailand and the Philippines in their first 3 matches. But they hope to pull that feel-good factor with consecutive wins against Myanmar and Vietnam into this game against the Indonesians, who lost their last match against Thailand by 61-70 and need to win this game now and hope that Malaysia do them a favor by beating Thailand by a big margin in order for them to be amongst the medalists. That is their starting 5, and a lot of things happen around their center. Number 22, Sophia George, top scorer against Singapore at the SEABA Championships. Their coach is Kim Dong-won from Korea, and the last time out at the SEA Games in 2015, he led them to their best finish, 2nd in Singapore since 1991, where they also won the silver medal. Well, for Singapore, no medals in women's basketball since 2003 when they won the silver medal. That was the time as well when they beat Indonesia 50-44. At the SEABA Championships, they shot just 38% from the field against Indonesia. The Indonesians shot 33% against Singapore, and that has to improve in order for this to be as close and as high scoring as we'd like. CHERYL Poon's brought her own band of spectators down with her. As I said, she's ice cold in the opening few games, but then got hot against Vietnam, top scoring with 26 points. She manages to hit her outside shots. Singapore have an outside chance of victory against the Indonesians, and they need to rack up a score here against the Indonesian team in order for them to finish above them for the first time since 2003. So tip-off time, Singapore versus Indonesia. Remember, Singapore out of medal reckoning. Indonesia have an opportunity to still be amongst the medals despite being 4th in the table at the moment. Philippines have finished their games off already. The Indonesians with their final match, hoping that they win, and then Malaysia beating Thailand by a huge margin. That is Sophia George, once again controlling the paint, making sure that she brings ALANNA out as much as possible. And she usually dominates those boards, those rebounds as well. Top scored against Singapore at the SEABA Championships, 23 points, 11 rebounds. One of 3 double-double games for her at the SEABA Championships just last year. Singapore needs to get those movers off ALANNA as high up as possible. They'd rather her inside the paint, but that's a very clever pass inside to Jacqueline. Misses the first layup, so both teams missed their first shots. Indonesians really will try to get the ball inside to Sophia George as much as possible. She misses her first shot as well. Sophia Gabriel. Yuki Yoshida spots Jacqueline on the outside. ALANNA, beautiful move there. A little fake on Sophia, which was purchased all the way by the Indonesian. Jacqueline needs support. She finds it with a clever pass inside, and ALANNA really should have finished that one off. Indonesia with an opportunity on the fast break. Don't get enough bodies in paint fast enough. Trying to work that little pump fake and fade away. And then gets a fall though for Putri Mega. Another clever pass by Jacqueline Chu, and once again ALANNA. Well, it's 3 layups now that she's missed, and very easy ones just under the rim as well. And the last couple were through very clever passes from Jacqueline, who totally dissected this Indonesian defense, who are watching ALANNA and not watching the bounce of the ball. Sarah Jane Tan, little jumper that does not go. So Singapore have missed their first 4 shots. Indonesia have missed their first 2. George once again with a screen, and doesn't go in. Both teams cold at the moment. In the first minute and 50 of this game, CHERYL Poon trying to make sure that stat goes out of the window, and she will go to the free throw line. It's a foul called on Indonesia's number 8, CHRISTALINE. CHERYL usually starts the game off in cold streak at these games so far in 2017, but once she gets going, once she gets the hot hand going, as we saw against Vietnam, She just drowns those shots from the outside. The stroke looks very good. Those free throws, and those are the first points of the ball game. Sophia, little J doesn't go yet again for Gabrielle Sophia. As I said, everything goes through her, not just the rebounds, but the dominance inside of the paint as well. It's more importantly, they want her to get into a hot scoring streak as soon as possible, as early as possible. Because usually that's where the rhythm of the Indonesians are really found from Sophia. CHERYL POON almost mishandling and goes driving right through traffic, doesn't get away from it. The Indonesians are trying to conspire to turn the ball over. They finally get it back. RETONG once again working it out to Sophia, desperately wanting her to get on the board and get on the points. That's very good defensive work by ALANNA, kept her eye on it. Jacqueline lost possession though and gets it right back. No, she doesn't, and Indonesia get their first point after a turnover from Singapore. RETONG with Indonesia's first points, tying the ball game up at 2. CHERYL trying to work on the screen by SJT, failed to do so. Sarah Jane Tan, beautiful spin move off the board and in. That was pretty. 4-2. Sophia once again free. She escaped the clutches, taking advantage of the screen then. First 3 of the day, thrown up and down. CHRISTALINE with a shot that was nothing but net, pure crystal. CHERYL POON tries to respond. Beautiful shape on that shot. It doesn't get it to go though. CHRISTALINE. Sophia once again trying to escape the clutches of ALANNA in the paint. More importantly, trying to set up blocks and screens to allow the shooters to shoot as she is now at that mid-range point where she doesn't have the confidence to take it on, and it's traveling call. Good defensive work by Singapore. ANGGRAENI called for the little travel as she tried to do some low post moves. This was CHRISTALINE at her crystalline best. Jackie Chu trying to dish it off to ALANNA. After attacking the rim, ALANNA had taken a couple of Indonesian players with her on that big screen. Sarah Jane, the only point of the game for Singapore. At least the only field goals put in by Singapore from Sarah Jane. And that's her 4th. 6-5 now they lead. Sophia escaping from ALANNA momentarily. Still not hitting her shots. ALANNA's got to take better care of the basketball. This time though that scramble worked in her favor. But the Indonesians will be a little worried because Gabrielle Sophia hasn't been hitting her shots thus far. And it's 5 on straight away for the Indonesians. No mercy shown by their coach. A 5 on doing the work. I'll get the next 5 on right now. Let's see what the bench will do. Whether the bench brings some new energy into the play of the Indonesians who look lackluster in the opening minutes. Sarah Jane Tan heaving up from the confidence that she's shown in the opening stages, hitting all her shots thus far, and that's another one. Hook shot goes for SJT, and Singapore have got a 3-point lead. Quick response by the Indonesians, who have already hit a 3, not that time though. Singapore have an opportunity to build this up. Sarah Jane Tan, it was actually Amanda who's been red hot in this tournament. Gone up in the fast break, and it's very fast when Jacqueline Chu usually has the ball. And they're always trying to get Amanda going because a lot of teams can't live with the speeds, especially down the flanks. Indonesia once again trying to live on those 3s, failed to go that time. It's Dewi Kadik. Latest attempts from her. This has been a very cold shooting morning for Indonesians so far. Ko Bin taking over from Jacqueline and trying to dictate the game. Sarah Jane open for the three is Amanda, doesn't go. Big rebound, almost picked up by Alanna. But instead it's Wibubu who comes away with the ball. Wei Bin picks up her first. And 4:09 left in the first quarter. Singapore looking good despite the fact that they haven't been really making a lot of their shots. Indonesians have been very, very cold coming off the blocks, trying to get themselves heated up from the bench, who have been cold as well, so it hasn't really made any sort of difference despite changing their starting five all at one go. Yoshida, clever movement from Singapore, although that Alanna just didn't have the confidence to nail that little jumper. Yoshida does from mid-range. Nice little swoosh from Yoshida. Double Y with her first double of the day. Wonderful, clever movement from the Indonesians, and Kahol gets their first field goal in 4 minutes. Well, the movement of the basketball has been very good from Singapore. They've shared it pretty well. Yoshida, 8 left to shoot, a lot of time. Wei Bin, Sarah Jane Tan for 3. Bang! Hot start for Sarah Jane Tan. 7 points now. She's got a little less than half of Singapore's points so far in this first quarter. Heaved up the 3 and it was good. Well, she had a hand on her face, so under pressure, that was a pretty good shot by Debby. And all of a sudden, we're getting hot right here with both teams hitting their last threes. Wei Bin decides not to step out for the 3. Doesn't hit the range jumper though, and that'll be off Indonesia, I'm sure, for a Singapore ball. Well, she's trying to put on the most innocent face in the world to the umpires to say she didn't touch it, but obviously it was pretty clear she did. And it'll be a timeout called by the Indonesians, who trail by 5.
I'm going to complain about right now is we're not getting our hands high enough. You gotta get your hands high. They're gonna shoot. Everybody, remember the dot I put on the board? All those people are shooters. So I don't want to differentiate any of them. 8 is the main player, 12 inside, 0 is gonna hurt you inside. But everybody else is a 3-point shooter. Gotta get your hands high. Take your chances on getting help defense, okay? Make them put it on the floor, make them make mistakes going to the hoop.
So after a cold start, both sides beginning to hit their shots from the outside. At Sarah Jane Tan already with 7 points in this ball game. 7 of Singapore's 15 points. Indonesia, despite their leading scorer in this competition, GABRIEL, SOPHIA, not scoring yet, are still in it. A 5-point gap between these two teams heading into the final 2.5 minutes of the first quarter. Yoshida spots outside, looking for that easy J. So doesn't get it. Much better defense by the Indonesians, who just managed to amp up the pressure a little bit, making sure that these Singaporeans don't get easy shots and easy looks at the basket. And trying to add a lot more intensity to their offensive play too. Clever ball inside. Sophia stripped off it by Alanna, who will pick up the foul as Sophia goes to the line. Chance for GABRIEL SOPHIA to get her opening points of this ball game from the charity stripe. Well, she's missed those easy layups right under the rim, where she usually rents a property there, sets up house, but at least from the free throw line she is 100%. Just being very cold off the boards. Once again, Amanda trying to use the speed she creates. CHERYL POON open for the three. She decides to take it. Doesn't nail it. Long rebound picked up by Amanda. ALANNA. Oh. Ball handle's not good enough from Wei Bin. Had to pick that one up. At least keep possession. Singapore turn it over. SOPHIA, can she get the confidence already coming off those 2 points from the free throw line? She'll revisit that, this time with an opportunity for three-point play. ALANNA Lim in early foul trouble, trying to guard Indonesia's most dangerous player. Great use of the body, then takes the contact and then throws it up. GABRIEL SOPHIA, all of a sudden, after going ice cold for the first 3 minutes, has got 4 points, almost a fifth. Couldn't get the roll though. Yet again, they use her as the focal point and the fulcrum to all their offensive attacks. Trying to get the screen, double team, throws the ball away. Great defense by Singapore. Shot clock's wound down and Singapore get to keep the ball. Much better defense. He won't be too happy with that though. So everything went right except for the fact that SOPHIA's double team means that the outside shooters got to find something down the flanks especially, just to get themselves open and try to drain those threes. They have very good outside shooters. They just haven't turned up so far. Amanda, Sarah Jane, CHERYL decides to fake the pass and attack the basket. Doesn't get it to go. Shot clock's down to 9 seconds. SOPHIA decides to do it all by herself and then pick up her own rebound. That was almost intentional. Gets the roll this time. Heaved it up knowing that she was always going to be favourite against Pauline, who tried to box her out. Did a good enough job protecting the rim. Not good enough in the rebound stakes against SOPHIA. Almost slapped the ball away into Indonesian hands. Heading into the final 32 seconds of the first quarter. Singapore were up ahead, remember, by 5 points until a timeout was called. And here they are with a 1-point deficit. Having missed their last 2 field goal attempts, CHERYL POON does draw the foul. She started the quarter by going to the line and scoring Singapore's first 2. She might end the quarter by scoring Singapore's final 2. If she continues with that 100% streak from the charity stripe. That stroke certainly has looked much better since that Vietnam game. There's a lot of bravery in CHERYL as well, the way she attacks the rim, sometimes just going right into traffic, trying to open up the flankers and throw it outside, or trying to just penetrate herself. George trying to get it inside to SOPHIA. Once again, Singapore though blocking that lane out, blocking the corridor. Indonesia somehow managing to get it. 5 seconds left to shoot for the end of the first quarter. 18-17. Indonesia lead. Wei Bin's got to just throw this one up and almost found basket and net, but didn't. Singapore trail by 1, having led for much of the first quarter. 18-17. Indonesia lead.
Indonesia 18, Singapore 17. A great game.
So the Indonesians, despite a very cold start and not scoring a field goal in the opening 5 minutes of that quarter, still managing to shoot the ball better than Singapore, who've done better in the paints in terms of their rebounds, and a lot of them offensive rebounds too. However, despite trailing for much of the first quarter, Indonesia still take a lead going into the second. Singapore have protected at least the perimeter well enough. A lot of the outside shooters who can be very deadly, Indonesia, haven't had open looks at all at the baskets. This time they decide to attack the rim and will go to the line after Sujono draws a foul from a Singaporean, YUKIE Yoshida, with her first personal. She's deceptively very good on the boards, especially in the offensive front. She'll just be nipping around, and next thing you know, anything that's coming off the rim, just that little hyena inside there, picking up on any sort of carnage that happens, especially with the big centers going at it. A couple of matches already, she's been the top rebounder for Singapore. ALANNA, Sarah Jane Tan, the hot hand for Singapore, yet again. SJT from downtown has hit her second three, and she's up to double digits. 10 points in the ball game for her, 20 all. SOPHIA, spin move, that's more like the SOPHIA that we know. Well, ALANNA didn't even get her foot out of bounds before she put it right back into play. Umpire decided to let it run though. Jackie Chu, Yoshida, almost open for a while. No look pass for SJT, once again in and out though. Well, this is almost run and gun from both teams, which is pretty to watch finally. And the scoreline is very much a reflection of how these two sides have fared whenever they've met each other for the last couple of occasions. Just 3 points, remember, separating both of them at the SEA Games. It went Indonesia's way, 3 points separating them. At the SEBA Championships, that went Singapore's way. And now just 2 points separating these two teams. GABRIEL SOPHIA, just such a beautiful stroke that she has, and that arc on the ball heading towards the basket from the free throw line. Don't expect those big centers to be shooting this well from the free throw line. It's more 3 points now is the difference between Indonesia and Singapore. Yoshida. Well, the ball movement and the protection of the ball has been much better from the Singapore team. A little mishandle from Jackie Chu. Once again, Sarah Jane Tan open for the jumper, open for three. 2 in a row she's missed after making 2 in a row from long range. The Indonesians haven't really profited from long range. The screen being set by SOPHIA. Finally it goes inside to her. Doesn't get the roll, picks up her own rebound, anticipated it, but great hustling work by Pauline, making sure that Singapore have the ball. CHERYL breaks away. YUKIE Yoshida for 3. Doesn't go. Another rebound picked up by SOPHIA. She too in double digits for this game. Just way too big, way too strong, even double teamed, and she manages to get the ball and draw a foul. Back to the free throw line for GABRIEL SOPHIA. Yoshida picks up her second, and a lot of times she's helping her big center up to go and double team SOPHIA whenever the ball's falling to the big Indonesian center. She's picked up 2 already that way. ALANNA's in foul trouble. Open for the easy layup. off the board, and Indonesia build on their lead with ANGGRAENI. Debby checks out Singapore, facing a 5-point gap early in the second.
Don't fall asleep! 2 plays in a row. If you're guarding the inbounder, you gotta be responsible for that weak side. What are you doing? Get your head in the game. And see the ball, it shouldn't be thrown. Why are we throwing it if somebody's not looking at us? She's not the point guard. You're in the damn game. Keep your head in it. Offensively, let's make sure we keep moving the ball, get a good shot. I thought we had one more pass on yours. Okay? We're in this game.
Tekan ya, tekan terus ya. Main domain. Ya, suci.
Caranya kamu gemuk, yang gemuk.
Oke, let's go.
Throughout this competition, I haven't seen Coach Murad of Singapore that furious. And it all happened because it was an easy lay-in for the Indonesians, and it sparked a timeout call from him. And maybe that might be the wake-up call the players need for the rest of this half. King on Pauline, a reverse layup is no good. Pauline snaps it away. Good work by Singapore under the rim. Jackie Chu need to get their shots to fall. More importantly, get the ball movement, which they found with the fluidity in the first half. Thrown it away. ALANNA Lim couldn't keep possession of it. Pauline, I should say. Well, ball movement was so good in the first half. The fluidity was there. The Indonesians couldn't keep pace with it. So this second quarter, a couple of turnovers already. Open for the step back 3 jumper from 3-point range. Doesn't go. Jackie is a little drawn out though. It will be a turnover for Singapore. Pass was very ambitious, you have to say, for CHERYL POON. Unless she was going to try that ambitious alley-oop to hoop it right into the basket. It's always going to be off balance, trying to keep that one in play. Ill-advised perhaps, that pass from Jackie. Looked for a quick basket and quick response instead of trying to keep ball and be that pass-first point guard. SOPHIA draws yet another foul from... No, it's an offensive foul that time. So good work from Pauline in planting her feet and taking the charge. So after a hot start to the second quarter, especially from the Indonesians, both teams going through scoring slumps at the moment until Jackie Chu decides to take things all by herself and go coast to coast for the easy layup. 3 points the deficit. Indonesians have been getting cheap points though, which sparks that furious timeout from Murad. And the defense has been a lot more disciplined since then. Tough shot, that was a tough shot, and she manages still to make it. So great work by ANGGRAENI. Sarah Jane already with 10 points. CHERYL POON 10 to shoot on the shot clock, decides to change the variation of the play. Just 4 seconds left. Jackie takes that tough jumper. What a J! Running jumper with a body right in front of your face, and she knocks it down. Strong attack to the hoop once again by Indonesia, and it's been a very big second quarter thus far by CHRISTALINE and ANGGRAENI. CHERYL POON once again no way through into the paint. Jackie has been red hot, scoring the last 2 field goals for Singapore. That time tried to get Pauline in the mix. There we go. It was unprotected because Jackie Chu had been drawn outside, and because of that she decided to go attack it all the way, and CHRISTALINE with her 5th point of the ball game. 5 points the difference between Indonesia and Singapore. Inside, easy basket. Yet again, the defense fell asleep. They were drawn up and everybody went with the ball handler instead of going with the passer. So that pick and roll worked for Indonesia that time. Sophia, very much the architect of that. Jacqueline Chu looking to penetrate. Amanda, easy throw away, fast break Indonesia. This should be 2 easy points, and even with a foul, a chance for a 3-point play. That's what she was waiting for. That's what she bought. Retong, Augustin Retong, heads to the free throw line, waiting for Loiter to just come right across, and then immediately took the contact. That's the experience for you. And the 3-point play is completed. 10-point game now. The Indonesians are streaking away with this. Singapore got to be careful. Jacqueline passes up on the 3, and then a clever pass bounce inside. Choi Ting's got a much better work in terms of converting those easy jumpers. And in her bid to get the rebound, draws a foul. Picks up a foul, I should say. Well, those easy layups from under the rim have to be put away. Otherwise, the Indonesians are putting the Singapore girls away in quick fire time. Remember, it was only a 1-point lead at the end of the first quarter. It's been extended to a double-digit lead already, the biggest lead of the ball game. And it's happened far too frequently in this competition at the 2017 Southeast Asian Games. Singapore have established leads early on against teams like Philippines, even Malaysia in the first quarter, only for the teams to just streak away, keep themselves close, keep themselves alive, and then spring into action. The second quarters of their games against the big nations have hurt them throughout this tournament. Once again, though, the defense good enough to ensure that there was no open shots for the Indonesians. However, the Singapore girls are in foul trouble. Jono. It's a very, very tough low post move from CHRISTALINE, still managing to get the shot away. Amanda yet again losing the ball. 2 turnovers already for Amanda in this quarter. She's had a wonderful SEA Games, but hasn't really caught fire yet to turn up in this match. And she picks up a foul again. She can get hot in quick fire time though, Amanda, and when she does, that's when Singapore are at their very best and speediest. I believe it's a timeout called once again by Kirk Murad of Singapore.
0 fouls this quarter. That tells me we're not being aggressive enough. Okay? Tap the hoop. If you miss the shot, I don't care, don't foul. Don't jump over the back. Okay? Everybody misses shots. But we got to get better shots. Okay? An inside-out 3, they're in man now, right? What are we running on offense? What'd you run? What'd you run? 2? That didn't look good. That didn't look like 2 from here. Okay. Apa? Kasih tahu.
Ya.
Harusnya umum.
Ya, lagi-lagi. Gedenya sama. Gedenya sama kayak gitu. Makanya bisa semua tadi bilang kamu ambil yang punya apa.
Let's go.
Saya lagi gitu itu.
Ya. Jaga dulu.
So you saw the stats. Sophia already 1 rebound shy of another double-digit rebound game, which will be her 4th in this tournament. And she and ANGGRAENI both with 9 points. Sarah Jane Tan leading all scores with 10. The call from Coach Murad is aggression. Let's see if the girls will respond and give him that for the final 3 minutes of this second quarter. So checking into the ball game, Dewi Karik. Wei Bin looking to attack the basket straight away. And there is the easy rebound. So at least the coach's ploy works because she had three bodies coming out at her and attacking it, that they abandoned the low post. And Tang Choi Ting just picked up the easy rebound and go straight to the free throw line. It's something that Murad picked up at that last timeout, that they haven't been visiting the charity stripe enough. In the second quarter, it's their first trip to the free throw line, and they have been 5 out of 5 before that missed free throw by Choi Ting. But yet again, aggression shown on the boards, on the offensive front, that time from Amanda. It was a paint violation by the Indonesians then, so because of that, Choi Ting had to shoot her second free throw again and nails it. So Singapore is 100% from the free throw line as Sophia returns to the ball game. The coach Kim Dong-won immediately sets up that very high screen, drawing up Pauline. Sophia once again drawing that very high screen. So Indonesia though don't have enough players to her right. Tough shots for Sophia. Great work by Pauline, making sure that her hand was right in her face. Didn't give her any breathing room at all. Yuki Yoshida. Loiter, Amanda. Still Amanda. That's what you mean by attacking the rim. Shot doesn't go. Doesn't get the foul either. Still Sophia. Got some lovely low post moves, Sophia. Hustling work was good by Wei Bin. Pilfered, stole the ball. Easy lane shot for Loiter, but it was all the hard work of Ko Wei Bin at point. Just Singapore's first steal. Loiter picks up the easy rebound. No, she's got speed ahead of Sophia. The Indonesians thought it was a clean enough block on Amanda. I think the referee's going to bring this back because seen a foul. Thought it was the Indonesian who threw that foul down. It's Ko Wei Bin really just totally stealing it and setting up an easy jumper from Loiter. Takes full advantage of the board. It's Indonesia's turn now to call the timeout.
Coach, nggak usah bantu, kita mau menang aja, Coach.
Fokus lagi, fokus. Jangan ada salah dikit-dikit ini. Siapa yang dipasang, siapa yang siap.
Semangat. Ayo, bisa. Ayo, semangat.
Ya, jangan bikin salah-salah sendiri. Have anything, you have a jump shot, reverse it back, and set the screen on the top, okay, and get to the hoop. Right? Defensively, much better intensity, much better communication. I want to hear you.
Oh, it's pretty strange. It was very, very somber by the Indonesians, especially their leading points getter in this tournament, Sophia Gabriel, almost in tears then. I don't know whether she is upset because she's not feeling 100%, or she is upset with her shooting percentage in this game because she hasn't been getting her shots to fall. And give credit to the Singaporean side, they have been putting their hands in her face and making her take those very tough shots. She hasn't had any open looks yet in this game. She's still on court though for the final minute and a half of this half. Singapore still protecting this 100% free throw rate, which continues with another 2 from the line from Amanda. So 5 points the difference. The Indonesians were breaking away with it. The lead was up to 10, but Singapore have got it right back with a minute 20 left of the half. Sophia, though, strong against Pauline. Goes right back to the line. And despite the fact that she hasn't really been shooting well in this match, she is, at the moment, 1 rebound shy of a double-double. Amanda yet again attacking the rim. Singapore with a second chance, getting off the offensive board. Great rebound for them. Amanda open for the 3, doesn't take it. Ice cold at the moment. No field goals for Amanda. Is it a chance for Singapore to get this rebound? No, it's picked up by the Indonesians, and Sophia comes away with it. Yet again, immediately to the low post, asking for the ball, gets it and gets an opportunity for 3-point play. Uses the body of Pauline, took the contact and threw it up immediately, knowing she was always in an advantageous position. No, it wasn't Pauline that time, it was a mismatch. It was her and Amanda at the low post. So 3-point play is completed, and it's back to a 10-point ball game after all of Singapore's efforts from the timeout, putting more intensity and aggression, heading and attacking the rim. Wei Bin pushed it out, it was open for a while, but good defense from the Indonesians to get right back in it, and the block is good. The fast break is on for the Indonesians, easy 2. And now it's a 12-point ball game. Singapore, though, will have the last shot of the half. CHERYL POON, just 1 to shoot. She has to throw it up. She didn't get the call, though, from the coach or the bench or anybody else. But Singapore, despite pulling it back to a 5-point deficit, and Indonesia went on a 12-0 run in the last minute and 20 seconds to end the half, and they lead by 12 points against Singapore. Welcome back to the Maba Stadium. This is Indonesia and Singapore. Biggest smiles from Sophia, who was on the verge of tears at one of the timeouts in the second quarter. She ended it, though, by scoring 5 of the Indonesia's final 12 points to end that half. And Singapore with a lot of work to do in the second half to get themselves in the ball game and keep themselves alive against the Indonesians, whom they beat, remember, at the SEABA Championships this last year by 71-68. The last time they couldn't deal with Sophia, who scored 23 points against them. And this time she is streaking away in terms of the scoring charts as well. Singapore have had a very hot hand, especially in the first quarter, from Sarah Jane Tan. She hasn't scored in the last 6 minutes, and Singapore throw the ball away immediately at the start of the second half, which is not good news. Indonesians can be lethal on the fast break if they get their shooters on the perimeter, getting outside looks. A clever pass inside was not read by a teammate, and they throw the ball away themselves. So 1 turnover apiece to start the second half. ANGGRAENI, 9 points in that first half for her. Couldn't protect it. I don't think she expected the inside pass. YUKIE Yoshida, Sarah Jane Tan free on the outside. So too CHERYL POON. Doesn't get it to go. Still, that 3 ball not falling for CHERYL. Sophia working off a very high screen yet again. And the Indonesians are not taking advantage of their 3-ball attempts either. JACQUELINE to Yoshida, had it stripped away. Foul though, reach and foul. Called on RETONG. Well, in the match against Myanmar, they worked off the screen so very well that they left Amanda free inside the paint. But this time, they work it off to CHERYL. No look pass to CHERYL POON, trying to get an open look. Jacqueline Chu with just 7 to shoot. Decides to go all by herself, and that little soft touch and a running jumper. Good for Jacqueline. 8 points now in the ball game for Jacqueline Chu. 10 points the deficit. Long three taken by CHRISTALINE, who scored the first 3 of this ball game. That time no good. Clever pass from Jacqueline Chu. You have to take advantage of it. ALANNA Lim has missed so many under the rim already in this game. It's another miss, this time from the Indonesians. Sugiono. Jacqueline has dished out some very delicious assists that her teammates haven't taken advantage of it, so she decides to go all by herself now and draws the foul from the Indonesians and a visit to the free throw line. Well, probably one of the quickest point guards at these games. She can go quick, coast to coast, in double time almost, with her very, very fast feet movement. And has that eye to spot a pass as well. She's already thrown up some very appetizing ones, especially to her centers, her bigs, but they haven't been taking advantage of it. Missing very easy lay-ins, very easy baskets. SOPHIA drawn out, missing the easy J, picking up her own rebound, so she's already in double-double for this game. 11 rebounds, 15 points. Jacqueline once again aggressive, attacking the hoop, gets the roll. Deserved the roll. It was CHERYL POON that time who went eyeballing every Indonesian defender and then eyeballed the rim to say, let it drop. Did that count though? Or was that a first and foul? Strong, aggressive play. Maybe it was called on the travel, and all that hard work's gone to waste. SOPHIA missed her first shots in this second half. Jumper is good from Indonesia. So they get their first points of the third quarter. Yoshida almost left free for a while. Amanda once again goes attacking the hoop. Does pretty well. Just found that little pocket for herself to attack. And that channel opened up for her, so she took full advantage of it. The Indonesians, though, picking up on their aggression. Air ball by SOPHIA. Is that a little box out foul by the Singaporeans? Trying to get themselves an easy rebound. I don't think it was Yoshida who picked up the foul. It looked like Amanda picked up her second of the ball game. Soft jumper. Amanda responds by attacking the hoop. Yet again, was that... Yep, boxing out. This time from Sarah Jane Tan on SOPHIA. They're so concerned over the threat she poses on the offensive boards. Murad just cannot believe that decision by the umpires. It's 2 in a row now, and Indonesia have a chance to pick up on their plays. SOPHIA picks up another board, this time throws it in, and an opportunity once again to go to the line for the three-point play. And Singapore have just been picking up tons of fouls, and all of them on the Indonesian big center and top scorer. Sarah Tan picks up 2 in quick succession. Good handles by Sarah Tan to keep it alive and get the rebound Singapore's way. Amanda, Sarah wants the ball, gets it. Pauline, Jacqueline, just 7 to shoot on the shot clock. Yoshida, good little fake move. Wonderful pickup on the rebound that time by Sarah just to keep it alive. Misses her own shot though after the rebound. Amanda yet again attacking it. This time she couldn't get the board to be on her side. Yet again a foul's called on Amanda. And now she is in foul trouble. Well, they faced a 12-point deficit at the break. They've trimmed it down now to 9. But the Indonesians have an opportunity to get right back into a double-digit lead with this trip to the free throw line. So all the hard work at the start of this second half just goes down the drain after the Indonesians have decided to pick up on the intensity. In Singapore, though, speaking of amping up the intensity, attacking the rim a lot more with fire and aggression in this second half, and he did in the second quarter. Yoshida steps back, gets the open look. Yoshida for 3, way short. Gotta knock those down. We're talking about being open for 3. That is knocked down by Indonesia. CHRISTALINE, 3 big points and the biggest lead of the ball game. Oh, that is the difference, isn't it? As CHERYL tried to keep that one alive, but I think she's given a possession away, so it's a turnover by Singapore. There we go. Just stepped her out. The screen was good to make sure that CHERYL didn't attack her. And just that split second when she was free, she took full advantage with a 3 ball. SOPHIA very happy that everyone's gone out to try to attack her perimeter shooters. Pauline attacked her, body too strong on SOPHIA though. And yet again she goes to the free throw line. They just cannot live with her. And GABRIEL, SOPHIA, time and again, when she gets the ball and she backs into you. That's when you just got to stay a little disciplined and just put your hands by your side. Make sure you tell the referee that you're not making any sort of movement. Take those contacts, take those backing ups. Make sure that she doesn't get an easy jumper. And once in a while, you have that intention inside of you to poke the ball away from her, and that's when the foul is called. Singapore missing yet another shot. It's getting away from them now. 16-point ball game for the Indonesians. Almost open for the 3. She goes for the easy J. Instead it misses. Singapore get a slight reprieve. This time SOPHIA couldn't keep. Possession of the ball. Jacqueline Chu, Yoshida now open for the 3, and that's just a lack of confidence after missing an open 3 earlier on. Ball scramble, shot clock's winding down. They've just got 5 to shoot from this inbound pass. Choi Ting has to be called because both Pauline and ALANNA are in foul trouble. Clever ball inside that one was by Yoshida. It was all set about by some very good running. Just a second where the Indonesian defense fell asleep and CHERYL POON got in behind them. Open for the 3. This has got to go. It doesn't. Yoshida this time doesn't slap it out to a teammate either. It's going all pear-shaped for Singapore. After a very good start to this third quarter, the Indonesians starting to dominate in the last 2.5 minutes. Reach and foul was that. It wasn't. It doesn't matter to SOPHIA though. She'll still continue just steamrolling herself to the basket and the board every given opportunity. Once again the lob pass looked for by Jacqueline. There we go. She'll just go attacking the board. This time realized that she wasn't double teamed, and the moment she set herself free from Choi Ting, there was only going to be one outcome. open for the three, and it goes. Indonesia have been hotter from outside than Singapore in this third quarter. And the margin that you see on your screen now doesn't lie. Yuki Yoshida finally gets a jumper to go. It's trimmed it to 19 points. Sophia working off Choi Ting and getting it off the board. She knows already that Choi Ting's a lesser animal in terms of the aggression than ALANNA and Pauline, and she's taken full advantage of it by really being a lot more physical and putting her body on Choi Ting. It's another easy 2 points for Sophia. That's that little body movement, backing into you, spinning away from you, and getting it off the board for an easy 2. She's up to 21 points. Sophia, as Singapore call a timeout.
Matanya.
Belakang lininya saya selalu ingat atas seorang lininya kemana? Siap.
Leave one of the shooters open. I know. She's just killing us. She's getting layup after layup. Maybe they'll miss a couple of threes. Okay? Offensively, let's go motion. Choi, make sure you're opposite the ball, and JJ makes some decisions.
Well, this game is slipping away so very quickly from Singapore. Yuki Yoshida has finally got a shot to go. She's got to start making it now. And they need a couple of consecutive baskets at least just to get their offensive energy and confidence going. It has been sorely missing after a very bright opening start to this. Loiter, Choi Ting, yet again miss, and it was an easy one. She had 3 in front of her. It was an uncontested jumper. Sophia, coaches asked for a double team, but Choi Ting once again on her, and it's a no match, isn't it? Choi Ting against Sophia. This lady is so strong and so powerful, she'll just muscle her way past you at any given opportunity. Point to the paint. Difference is 12. CHERYL. The jumper still does not go for Singapore. And once again, a second quarter collapse that leads and cascades into the third. And the game is out of sight for Singapore. She is not enjoying herself this morning, Tang Choi Ting. And a lot of centers do not enjoy themselves whenever they're up against Gabrielle. Sophia. Sarah Jane Tan, after hitting 10 in the first half, has not hit a field goal since then. And she comes out as Charmaine C sees action for the first time. It's what you get when you have a center who can shoot the free throws. That's the reason why she racks up so many points, because she'll always visit the line, she'll always attack the rim, so she'll get those easy points in the paint. And once she goes outside, you're a 60-70% free throw shooter for a center. That's the reason why she is one of the top scorers in this tournament. Yoshida, a clever little step back move. At least she gets Singapore on the board. 22 points the difference between these two sides. Eight to shoot. They decide to take it from downtown. It was airballed, and Wei Bin comes away with it. Yoshida, loiter for 3, downtown, finally! 1 hit! And that's all it takes to galvanize the squad. As I said, they're looking for consecutive baskets. They finally find it. 1 a mid-range jumper and 1 from outside by Loiter. That was very good work by Yoshida, just to eye the basket and draw out the defender so that Loiter will be free. Indonesia, after missing their first 2 free throws of the ball game, have been hitting him on a regular basis until that miss by CHRISTALINE. 20 points now. Trim this one and get it right down to 10 by the end of the quarter, perhaps, and you might still be alive. 3 baskets in a row, 3 field goals in a row from Singapore. Yoshida started it and then set up the assist for the next 2. Choi Ting with the easy put in, having been freed up. A lot of aggression shown here by Kahol. Stripped away from it. And that'll be a foul picked up by the Indonesians on CHRISTALINE. There we go. She started the streak going with a short little jumper just inside the paint. And then freed up Loiter for the 3-pointer, and then that easy basket for Choi Ting, and now she goes attacking once again. Yoshida really off the hot hand at the moment. She herself and the inspiration she's provided have sparked Singapore's run. Still the difference, 16 points. But they're keeping themselves alive with a really late run, sparked by the vision of Yuki Yoshida and her hot shooting hand combined. These are cheap points to give away for Singapore, for the Indonesians. And CHRISTALINE's taken advantage of the first of 2. Wei Bin trying to bunny up herself inside the paint. Wonderful strong play by Choi Ting when attacking the rim. Confidence a little bit high because Sophia has been given a rest, so she doesn't have that menace right in front of her. Kahol, pump fake, little scoop doesn't go. Singapore have the opportunity for the last shot of the 3rd quarter. Loiter, still Loiter, throws it up and picks up the foul, unnecessary foul to give away, especially with 4 seconds left on the shot clock and the game clock. Mariam indeed, who picked up that foul. Loiter was almost off balance as she tried to take up the shot before the game clock went for the 3rd quarter. And now she'll get an opportunity for 2 easy points from the charity stripe, just to ensure that Singapore still have an opportunity, a shout and a sniff in the 4th and final quarter. Because the lead at one moment was up to 26 points, remember, but they've trimmed it down right now to 14, ending the 3rd quarter. Indonesia trying to get the shot off, they can't, and a very good late run by Singapore, keeping themselves in it against the Indonesians, trailing still though by 52-66.
Indonesia lead 66 points to 52 over Singapore.
So start of the fourth quarter here at the MABA Stadium, and Singapore have got to get an early run going against the Indonesians, put some down to the Indonesians, score a couple of baskets just to get the mojos and the sugars going, and the Indonesians might just be trembling slightly. At the moment, 14 points, the gap between these two teams looks decent and comfortable enough for the Indonesians. But they throw the ball away immediately with their first possession. GABRIEL SOPHIA thought she was fouled, but instead it was a slip from her. It's given the ball right back to Singapore now. Get these easy baskets, attack the rim, drop the lead a little bit, and as I said, it put some doubts into the head of the Indonesians. They can't be throwing the ball away though. Loiter, still Loiter, trying to look for the teardrop, doesn't get it to go. Singapore ball after some very strong work and an undying spirit under the boards that time from Choi Ting just to try to keep it alive. Charmaine C passes up on the three, goes to attack the rim, but the underhand scoop doesn't get to go. Sophia very high up and then going right back inside to do her work once again, trying to get the body and the positioning just in front of Choi Ting, which she did. So because of that, they went somewhere else and they missed that three. Choi Ting to escape the clutches. Brilliant work, great footwork by Choi Ting, well spotted by Wei Bin. But she escaped the clutches of her markers, and we're down to a 12-point ball game. Sophia, just absolutely brilliant moves in the low post by Sophia. Charmaine C. Yoshida's come out. It's, Indonesians have followed her. Charmaine, aerial loiter for three. Way short. Wei Bin picks up the rebound. Doesn't get to that turnaround jumper to go. Here's Sophia working on that very high screen just to draw the center out, but she'll do much better if she just does most of her work in the paint, because nobody can live with her. They need the double team right now. Yuki Yoshida finally throws it up and might have just picked up the foul, or it might be called on Choi Ting. Well, they needed a double team on Sophia much quicker because Choi Ting was struggling just to live with the physicality of this Indonesian center. Really has been almost a league apart in this ball game from the rest of the squad. This is the second of her two from the free throw line. Loiter. Charmaine thought about the three and now is running out of time. 4 seconds to shoot. Aerial loiter, just throws it up. Well poked away that time by Wei Bin. It was all about a lady, not about to give it up. Yuki Yoshida from downtown. That goes. Back to a 12-point ball game. Up the screen, and that was a big screen being put up by Sophia. Easy basket in the end for ANGGRAENI, who gets her 15th point. Aerial loiter open for the three once again. If they had hit 2 threes in a row, Indonesia might start doubting whenever they come forward. But they go to what they're comfortable with, and what they're comfortable with is the number 22 setting up screens or working the low post as she's done all match round. Is that going to be a foul in the free throws? Well, it will be free throws, but not an opportunity. Yuki Yoshida in foul trouble. In fact, a lot of the Singapore ballers in foul trouble. That's the reason why the bench players are coming up. Choi Teng has certainly been bullied by Sophia, and a lot of it's down to the fact that Pauline and ALANNA have been in foul trouble since the first half. So she's had to come on, but she's put up some very valuable minutes on court. She refused to be cowed by Sophia, but it's a really, really hard game against an Indonesian center who's so dominant in the low post. Jackie Chu returns. Get some speed on the offensive front for Singapore. And whenever she's on court, there's always a cue for fast transitions. And I'll be happy to note that Sophia is taking a break. Jacqueline Chu. Is that a continuation? Yes, there is, says the referee. So an opportunity for a three-point play for Jacqueline Chu on the free throw line now. All in one motion, she was already in the air. And that foul took place, so good decision by the umpire. Signal to the bench immediately, there was continuation, and the three-point play is successful. Still giving themselves a sniff. And now with Sophia out, might actually be protecting the paint a lot better. Well stolen. But the Indonesian refused to give up on that. They come right back on it. Shot clock winds down though. CHERYL POON looking for the open look, finds the open lady inside, and that's an easy two for Amanda Lim. Finally the shots are falling, and finally the paint is opening up at the moment, thanks to Sophia taking a break on the bench. And once those lanes open, as I said, they just cannot live with the speed of Amanda Lim. The Indonesians don't get the shot to fall. ALANNA is just beaten by the fake, thrown up that time quite brilliantly by ANGGRAENI. Open for the three is CHERYL POON. This has to go, it doesn't. If this goes, it's almost a dagger. Singapore survived that. CHERYL POON, SJT, who hasn't hit a shot in the second half, trying to use Amanda's speed. And Amanda duly obliges by attacking the rim and then throwing it away unnecessarily. Indonesians with an opportunity for a fast break. It's an one-on-one situation. Spin move inside and almost getting the basket to fall. CHERYL POON will pick up the foul as RETONG goes through to the free throw line. And Singapore call for a timeout with 4:33 remaining, trailing by 13.
Waring yang 34 menit. 3 poin ya.
And double her every time she touches the ball. They're going right at you. So try to jump on their dribble. They caught it here and dribbled right. Jump on that dribble, try to take a charge. You foul out, you foul out. Okay? Got to play deep. Offensively, let's try to run double. I think we'll get a back door here. If, JJ, when you're out here, you come all the way up, almost to the free throw line and then go. Okay, let's try to be patient on that. Let's try to get a layup. Defensively, if we score or have a dead ball, thumbs down. Score a dead ball, thumbs down. And we're going to put Poon on the top, you two in the back.
Oh, so the stats, Sophia up to 28 points already and 11 rebounds. And Singapore still being led by Sarah Jane Tan, although she hasn't scored in this second half. 4.5 minutes left. Sophia checks back into the ball game, which is good news for the Indonesians and not for Singapore, because she has bullied the Singapore bigs. She's put the two of Pauline and ALANNA into foul trouble, and Choi Ting just cannot live with her physicality. And every time there's a double team on Sophia, if it's not Choi Ting, it's usually Yoshida who picks up the foul. And once again, Sophia goes attacking the board, and this time allows it to fall nicely into the basket for a 14-point ball game. Well, the aggression was to try to attack the paint when Sophia went out. They couldn't. Sarah Jane Tan still can't hit in the second half. And that's a 13th board being picked up by Sophia. Sophia, 9 to shoot, trying to work that big screen. Almost a travel then for the Indonesians. 4 to shoot right now. Just the aggression and that never say die attitude from Sophia, almost keeping it alive for them. Well, Singapore have got to get their skates on. They got to get going right now. With 3:55 remaining, you don't have to shoot trees right now, but at least put a couple of baskets on the block, and then make sure that the organization and the defense is working in itself. Make sure that you keep Sophia away from the paint. Jacqueline does shoot the three. The three ball doesn't go. And she was almost forced into taking it because there wasn't an open player and there were only 5 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Sarah Jane takes a break after not hitting a shot in the second half at all. Yuki Yoshida returns to the ball game. She had the hot hand, sparking a 9-2 run to end the third quarter. Open for the three. That one is good, and that should ice it. CHRISTALINE once again with her fourth three of the match. It doesn't help that Amanda has thrown the ball away with her third turnover. Five to shoot on the shot clock was just thrown up and kept alive with another offensive board. Well, she doesn't take a break for too long, does she, Sarah? If she finds a scoring touch yet again, it might make an intriguing, tasty end to this ball game. Too aggressive that time on Jackie Chu as Retong of Indonesia. She's picking up her second personal foul, but this lady has been a real beast, hasn't she? Gabriel Sophia. Everything that has come off the rim of the boards has been gobbled up by her. As Singapore called for a timeout, 2:37 remaining, 17 points behind.
Whoever's guarding number 8, okay? Somebody else double. Offensively, let's try 2-1-2. I want Jane on top. Let's put Yuki in here with JJ, Amanda, and Poon. Even if you dribble to the wing, okay, we'll run it like circle action if you dribble to the wing. If you don't, though, if you pass it to the wing, okay, the wing.
Kalau nggak bisa baru nanti.
Singapore were having hopes of trying to claw back a deficit which was as huge as 25 at one point, but after missing a couple of shots and then CHRISTALINE is throwing a three down with 3 minutes remaining, that very much could be nail in the coffin. Well, they'll leave this tournament with at least 2 victories against Myanmar and Vietnam, but this was the game that really they wanted to win. against the Indonesians. They triumphed, of course, at the SEBA Championships by 3 points. Yuki Yoshida, CHERYL POON takes the 3, doesn't get it to go. Sophia trying to get her 30th point of this ball game. Traveling. And a lot of it down to very good defensive work by Singapore that was keeping pace with the movement of the Indonesian attacks, especially the forwards. They're slashing across the lanes, but the likes of Yuki Yoshida and CHERYL POON actually kept pace with them and gave them no open looks and no open players to pass to. They can't throw the ball away like that. So they've kept the ball much better than they did against the Malaysians and the Thais, where they were just giving away turnovers for fun. Sophia wide open for the 3 ball. Doesn't go. Yet again another offensive board for the Indonesians. Open run to the hoop. Doesn't go, but the open run set up by a wonderful screen put up by Sophia. Ball thrown away. She expected Sarah Jane to pick it up. Picked her pocket, picked the points. Easy basket that time for Sugiono. And once again, they worked so hard to get themselves a sniff at this, only to allow the opposition to go on a streak and go on a run and put this out of her reach, as Sarah Jane just can't get a shot to fall in this second half. Sophia is saying, we've got this game already, now take your time. They do want to rack up the points though, because it might come down to a points difference as to who wins the medals at these SEA Games. Indonesians, silver medalists, of course, at the last SEA Games, needed to win this, and that they have done. Needed to rack up the points as well, and hope that Malaysia will do them a favor by racking up the points against Thailand, so that they can pip the Thais for a medal. The Thais, remember, have an opportunity to win it if they beat Malaysia. So it all sets up for a fascinating final match in women's basketball for Singapore. It's another tournament where they have finished 5th, just as they did at the last SEA Games. Amanda going one-on-one with Sophia. Sarah Jane still short, and the Indonesians, the boss of the board, Sophia, 29 points, 12 rebounds. It's apt she gets the final control of the basketball, because she has been the MVP in this game. As Singapore fall to another defeat, they'll leave this tournament with 4 losses, and the Indonesians now will be hoping that the Malaysians will do them a favor by beating the beating the Thais, I should say, by a huge scoreline, so that they can get into the final reckoning for a bronze medal in the women's team basketball tournament. Final score in their final matches: Indonesia beat Singapore by 83-62.
Udah mulai. Kalah apa di syuting?
Indonesia, mati mati. Jackline, Jackline.
Indonesia and Singapore.